Hello, continents. This is Geralt of Rivia, and I'm here to introduce to you the one and only Daniel Chapel. Enjoy.
Voice.ai.
Hello and welcome again to another video with me, Daniel Chapel, with more Witcher tabletop RPG content by Art Talsorian Games. CD Projekt Red, thank you so much for creating this. Love it a bit. I don't know if it's obvious by now. But anyways, before we continue, if you do like the AI voice that I use in the intro, you can get this software too by going down in the description below and clicking on the Voice.ai link that I have there. You initially start with two generic voices, a female and a male, and then with the in-app currency you can purchase another voice, which you can preview to see what it sounds like. If you like it, you can go ahead and purchase it. If you want more, unfortunately you're going to have to spend a bit more cash or go into some kind of subscription with them. Anyways, as you can tell, I love Geralt of Rivia. That is the one that I chose, for, especially for this specific video clip. Today, we're going to digress a bit from what we usually do about characters and all this. We're still going to keep it relevant to character creation because I have been asked the question, how does one level up? Leveling up in The Witcher is very different. How so? We don't have a level to represent how strong our character is. Instead, we have what we call the IP points system, which is a currency of its own. So at the end of the session, the GM is going to give you so much IP for you to hoard and then eventually spend it into your character. And we're going to go through how this works. So if we are on the core rulebook, which is the thing that you do need, you're going to go down to your leveling up page, which is found on page 59 of the book. And we have a bit of a summary here of how leveling up works in general. Now, how to reward IP game masters. This is something that you want to take into consideration. What you're doing here is you're going to reward IP equal to the achievement. So if someone just participated often, it's a 1 IP. Everything is listed on the side here. Participated effectively is 2. Using their skills effectively, 3. And this is usually the minimum. So you're playing a campaign, everyone kind of is just enjoying the game. They're not going above and beyond. So usually 3 is the IP that you're going to give your players by the end of the session. However, did something impressive, 4 IP. Did something thinking outside the box, 5 IPs. 6 is when you did something incredible, and so forth. Now, general improvement tab here says the fast way to learn a skill is via experience. At the end of the session, your GM gives you out general improvement points apply on your skills that you use during the adventure. Generally, the GM would be eager to give IP, I guess, but in the end, it's kind of referring. It's like don't give more than 6 IP, simply because you don't want to end up early in the campaign where you have these really strong characters, and once you come to the end of the campaign, they become like gods, right? We always have this problem. It's kind of why some people in D&D especially like to use milestones instead of XP. But we don't have milestones in this. We have IP, which is a currency, which gives the player a bit more free roaming of how to level up your character. Now, we're going to focus on skills. What are skills? So if we look onto our character sheet, we have the relevant skills. The intelligence skills, which is awareness, business, deduction, and so forth. Dexterity skills, you know the lot, right over here. Some are easy skills, some are difficult skills. And how do you know which is which? If you go back into your statistics, right, and you go down into your skills, over here it's going to tell you how to create your character. We've been through this in another video, right? And the difficult skills are the ones that are going to cost you 2. So language is 2, monster lore is 2, tactics is 2. These are difficult skills, right? This is something that you kind of want to expertise in. So what does this mean for leveling up? Now, let's say, for example, we have here our Witcher, Luskar of Hege, who has stealth of 3, right? I know it says 13 there, but it's pretty much grabbing stealth and their dexterity, right? So dexterity is 10 minus the 13, that's a 3. When you're using, by the way, this is the easy mode, which is free from drive-through RPG. If you want to get started with something very simple and pre-made characters, everything's here. So in the skill bases of each pre-made character, the stuff is added up already. It's not how I would suggest making your character sheet. However, that's up to you. Moving forward, as I was saying, the stealth is that of 3. You want to upgrade your stealth to 4. So you're going to spend IP equal to the amount you already have plus 1 in this regard. Because stealth is not a difficult thing. It's not a difficult skill, right? So if we go to dexterity and we see stealth, there it is. There's no 2 in the bracket. However, let's say, for example, he wants to, I don't know, do we have spellcasting? We have spellcasting, there we go. So spellcasting, which is under will. So will is 7, and his spellcasting is 9. So he has spellcasting of 2 already. Now, spellcasting is difficult, meaning for every 1 point he needs to spend 2 IP. So from 2 to go to 3, he needs to spend 6. 2, 4 to bring the 2, and then the additional 2 bring it up to the next one for the 3. So 2, 4, 6, from 2 it goes to 3. Right? Does that make sense? So because it's a difficult skill, spellcasting requires 2 IP for every 1 level in that skill. And that's basically how you pretty much start upgrading your character, right? However, you do have the option to raise your stats, and your stats are your intelligence, reflex, dexterity, body, and so forth. These are much more difficult to upgrade than your skill sets. Why? Because as the ruling says, that you're going to need to level up by spending IP equal to the amount that you have in there times 10. So what does that really mean? So let's say your intelligence is 5, you want to bring it up to 6. 5 times 10 is 50. You need 50 IP reserve to bring that up to 6 intelligence. They're a bit harder to do, but if you have kind of, it's better this way sometimes to improve these to the max in a way, I guess. So like empathy is 1, so that's going to require 10 IP for them to bring that 1 into a 2. So that's how to upgrade your stats. Why is it so costly? Some people tell me, like, this is ridiculous. It's like, what are you going on? I mean, remember, when you're looking at your character sheet, you have the driven skills, which their number is going to be added to what number is in those statistics. So if you're, like I was saying, so in the case of spellcasting, which requires will, right? If the will goes up, then automatically spellcasting and everything there is going to go up when you're rolling. So it's upgrading more than 1 space on your character sheet. Because if you're going to upgrade your will, all your will skills are going to go up by 1 automatically. So kind of a tit for tat. So if you want to be more quick at upgrading specific slots of expertise, which makes more sense, you're going to invest your IP in those. However, the choice is yours. It's there for a reason. Now, that's pretty much all you need to know to level up your character, right? Yes. However, don't forget, you have a skill tree, because each profession, let's take, for example, if we're talking about The Witcher, we go into the Witcher page and we have Witcher training, which is driven from intelligence, right? But they're going to have their own score number to add to that. So you're going to roll plus whatever your Witcher training is plus your intelligence, right? Now, if we go into the skill tree of The Witcher, you have the following. You have the spell swords, the mutant, and the slayer. And you're going to pretty much choose how you want to train your Witcher. What is he going to expertise in? Now, once you've reached 5 IP points, once you've reached level 5 actually, not IP points, but you need to reach level 5 in Witcher training, you automatically open one of the 3 slots and it goes at 0. So let's say I managed to upgrade it from 4 to 5, right? In your Witcher training, I spent 5 IP to go from 4 to 5, and now it's a level 5 Witcher training, and there's nothing to go about it other than that. Automatically, you're going to then choose which of your skill trees you want to start opening, because at 5, one of these open at 0. So the spell swords, root, the mutant, or the slayer, you're going to choose this from now, and you're going to take that path. There's no going back once you choose these, unless the DM kind of tells you can, since you've not really invested any IP points into it. But let's, for the sake of the narrative, the sake of argument, say, hey, I want to be the slayer. There's a lot of combat, there's a lot of monsters we go about every day, so I'm going to go into the slayer. So we're going to go into parry arrows. So that automatically opens up. You add it onto your character sheet at 0. And as you can see, it's driven from dex. So when you roll for parry arrows and you do its ability, which is a Witcher can roll parry arrows at a -3 to deflect physical projectiles. When parrying, the Witcher can choose the target or within 100 meters. The target must take a defense action against the Witcher parry arrows roll or be staggered by flying projectiles. So to unlock this, it's at 0, you roll, and so forth. And then once again, you're going to want to invest into this. So automatically, once you get that IP, you go from 0 to 1. You just need 1 IP to get it unlocked to the next level. To get it to 2, you need to spend 2, 3, 4, and so forth. The minute this becomes 5, it automatically opens Quick Strike at 0. This is how the skill tree works. And then once that one, Quick Strike, is you invest 5 IP in, you are going to unlock into Whirl. You can unlock these pretty fast, to be honest with you, from how I'm reading the rules as written, to be honest with you. And you tell me, where do you know this rule? It's pretty much just written here, right? When you have 5 points in an ability, you can use the next ability in the profession path of value 0. That is where the rule stands from. I personally think that because IP is pretty much, I mean, they might not do this, but someone who wants to rush into their skill tree can do it. I would say that pretty much you can give a homebrew rule to leveling these up, especially if you have a long campaign and you want to make sense out of the leveling up of this, where basically it would be that you have to spend so much IP to unlock it. You could use the whole 10, 20, 30 rule to unlock them. So the minute, yes, you've reached 5 points in your defining skill, now you can invest 10 IP to unlock A1, for example. And this also gives you an option to kind of be able to multi-class into your thing, because that means you can then open up into A1, B1, C1, right? And it makes you feel a more whole-rounded individual as a character, where you're a bit of a jack of all trades, but then again, you're kind of holding yourself back from advancing to the next one. I mean, if you want to stick it by core rules, this is the way it is. Core rules is every time you have 5 points in an ability, it unlocks the next profession path at a value of 0. This is pretty much how you level up your character, guys. There's really nothing more to it. So yeah, you have your skills, your statistics, and your skill trees, which are the only things that require you to level up. I hope this video was helpful and it makes sense to you. Now that you have IP points to spend, go ahead and make your choices. Remember, there's no going back. Once you've taken a route, you're on that path. Till next time.